Well, to understand some of the realities that couples deal with, which could drive them to the brink of a divorce, let's hear from Lindy and Tando from Skilled Finances. They say finances almost ruined their marriage, and now they help couples to avoid what they went through. Tando and Lindy, thank you so much for joining our voices.
Thank you for having us.
Now, we want to hear what happened to you guys, and what made you guys come to a point where you were arguing so much that it almost cost you your marriage almost.
Well, when we first got married, we had that whole perception of, oh, well, we love each other, so that's enough. We didn't really talk about how to manage our money, how to budget. We spent money together, we used money together, but we failed to sort of bring in the financial conversation into our relationship. So we failed to talk about it from the get-go. And obviously being two different people, that money habits crept in, money styles crept in, like our upbringing crept in as well. So had we had those conversations, that would have helped.
I love when you say money, your past crept in on you. You didn't even know, right? What do you think, ladies?
I can't believe there has been an argument or disagreements between the two of you when I see the husband smiling and nodding to what his wife is saying. It's just beautiful to see you like that. So about the fights, I'd like for you to share it with us. Did you openly discuss the issue at hand? And especially, for me, communication is key. So I would like to know how you made sure that the discussion you had was actually a discussion and not a fight about money.
So initially we used to fight a lot because we would wait until the issue was like really serious to be like, okay, let's have a talk about this thing over here. But at that point, we've both been like thinking about it for so long, it stressed each other out, that we had to learn to have the conversation before the issue kind of arose. And then on top of that, what we also started to do was to then talk about money from the perspective of like thinking ahead. Okay, what do we want next month to like? What do we want, the rest of the year to look like, as opposed to why are we spending so much money in this area over here and then end up arguing about it.
And I understand also that you're not pointing fingers, right? It's a we problem. It's not you against, it's us against the problem and not each other against each other.
Exactly that. And then because of that us mindset, it then means that when we are having a disagreement of sorts, we both understand that it's not me against you. It's actually just the fact that we're thinking about it differently, but we also need to make a decision together because it is an us issue.
That's very interesting. Can you tell us how you overcome it once you had an issue and then you started, communicating? You've been communicating, but then the way you communicate was also a problem. But then finally, when was the point you said, okay, we need to change the way we are handling this, and how did you overcome it?
So everything came to a head for us when we realized that we'd gotten into about 5K of debt. We realized that actually we had nothing to ourselves and we're arguing a lot about money. But the one thing that turned around for us was when we sat down and had a conversation of what we wanted our future to look like. What were our dreams? What were we aiming for? What were our goals? And we soon realized that actually we have similar goals. We have the same goals. We want the same things. But the only way to achieve it is if we work together as a team with our money.
See, ladies, what did they do? They communicated.
Right. Well, in the issues, can you tell us a little bit about how you help couples now that you have seen what you went through and it was very detrimental? What do you advise them to do, right off the bat? Maybe as soon as they get married, maybe.
Yeah, for me, the first thing to do is to agree, number one, how are we going to manage money in our household finances? Because that's important. We need to pay our bills. We need to cover our food. We need to be able to travel and all the rest of it. So let's agree on, are we combining everything in a joint account? Are we keeping everything separate? Are we going to make financial decisions together? What are we going to do when your family asks me for money? All of those discussions, have an agreement up front. And the second thing I would say is then think about what you want from your future. What do you want your 1 year to look like from now regarding your finances? And that will start to give you the vision to work together as a team as opposed to just paying bills all the time.
Okay, real quick, Tando, I want to get right into you. Africa is a patriarchal society and men are supposed to be the breadwinner. You go out, you kill the lion, you bring the lion at home. Was there any of that, I'm going to handle this? Or, because, most African men will want to be you know, the lead in what happens in money. Did you have that attitude coming in?
I think initially I did, I'll be honest. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that's my upbringing as well. I'm from Zimbabwe, so it was a very, very similar approach. Until one day I started to actually reflect and realize that we're in a partnership, right? We're in a relationship, but we're also in a partnership. And she brings a different mindset, a different approach on the table. And if we learn to work together, we can do so much more than me just kind of taking that pressure and the burden on by myself.
That's interesting. And also, one thing Oriane mentioned as her favorite is keeping financial affairs private. So within African communities, you know, we tend to talk to our parents, especially mothers.
YouTube channel.
Exactly.
And they talk about it on their YouTube channels.
Not talking about privacy.
How private should it be, and how can couples exercise that?
I think as a couple, you need to set your boundaries from the get-go. Decide whether you're going to let people in or not. For some couples, it's absolutely fine to let people in. But for us, we've chosen to keep people at bay when it comes to our finances.
Why?
We don't always
Can you tell us why? Why? Why did you make that choice?
So the main reason why we decided to do that is we are in the partnership, we are in the marriage. So it's between Thando and I. So we will deal with everything financially the way we need to. If we ever need support and help, then we will speak to people. But it's very difficult when you let people in and then people have opinions on, well, you should be using your money this way, or we should be getting some of your money because we're your family. You need to support us. We're in Africa, we're in Zim. You need to be supporting us. But when people don't know exactly what you earn, it makes life a lot easier because they can't dictate how you then use your money in your relationship.
Wow. And I think, you know, sometimes I'm thinking, okay, what works for you guys? Was it to put it together and share? Or was it like, no, I'm going to take care of this bill and that bill? How does it work?
So for us, what worked for us is putting everything in one pot and kind of having that joint mindset. For us, that's been the best approach to ensure that we are working as a team. We tried the kind of, I do this, you do that, but we just felt like we weren't really on the same page all the time. And we also made assumptions about who's doing what. But when we put everything in the same account, we both have visibility into what's going on, and we both have a say with this is what's happening.
Okay.
That's fantastic. So what I like with your dynamics is that not only did you help each other, but you also help other couples. On the YouTube channel, financial...
skilled finances.
Skilled finances.
Yes.
I'd like to know, what is the video that brought you more views, and do you know why?
Do you know what's so interesting? The most watched video on our channel is how to 5 ways to budget as a couple. And I think the reason why is because couples want to know how on earth are we going to budget together and how should we do it, because, you know, maybe we've tried one way and it's not working, or everybody says we should combine our finances, but we don't feel comfortable doing that. And so that's been the most popular video for us.
Not surprised.
Yeah, I want to go to watch that.
Me too.
Oh, yes.
That's very good. Well, thank you so much, you know, for being with us, Thando and Lindy Jacobs of Skilled Finances. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
We want to wish you the best in your marriage and in helping other couples overcome financial stress.